All right, you guys, welcome back to the channel once more. Looks like Warner Brothers is tapping out. And what I mean by that is they put themselves up for sale. And there's a possibility of Netflix or even Comcast, which is the parent of NBC, might buy them out.
Warner Brothers Discovery announced today that it is putting itself up for sale. The company, which owns CNN, HBO, and other streaming businesses and much more, previously had announced that it would split into two companies by the end of next year. But today the company said it had received unsolicited interest from buyers for the entire company, as well as for Warner Brothers alone.
Joining us now, NBC News entertainment correspondent Chloe Melas. So, Chloe, first off, what else is the company saying about this decision, and who might potentially buy this massive company?
Sure. Well, actually, I was one of the reporters who said earlier last month that Paramount Skydance was interested in acquiring WBD. Now, we don't know what exactly happened with that, but this is a big moment for WBD to come out and say, we are interested in selling the entire company, but we are also still open to pursuing.
Yeah, that's not an easy decision, especially when you've been around for so long. Warner Brothers has been around for at least 100 years, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't look far back into the history. I just know they've been around for a long time, especially that dancing green frog that I've seen in my childhood. And by the way, the woman on the right looks good. Somebody drop her Instagram info. I might have to fly her out.
Our previous plan, like you just said, of splitting the company into two separate parts, which is Warner Brothers, the film studio, which is home to iconic franchises like Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, DC Comics, which is Superman and Batman, obviously HBO Max, but then, like you said, CNN and the cable properties in another company. Yeah. But again, perhaps they do have multiple suitors. So you could have Netflix potentially. There have been reports that even our own parent company Comcast might be interested.
I'm noticing a pattern here. It's almost like what happened to the dating apps. Match owns most of the dating apps out there in the dating world, well, online. If I'm not mistaken, Match owns Plenty of Fish, OkCupid, and a few other ones. But yeah, that's what it is. They need to take in Coffee Meets Bagel and the other ones as well. Bumble. I was about to say Humble, but Bumble. And you just heard that MTV just pretty much gave it up last week. So now MTV and BET, those are two networks that are gone. I don't know if VH1, which is also owned by Viacom, I don't know if that's gone too, but it needs to be. Because all this shit is whack now. All that's on TV now is reality shows. So a lot of these cable networks just need to go.
We've reached out to them for comment. And, you know, the streaming side of this, the studio side, is very lucrative. And to have that IP be a part of another streamer would be a big incentive for someone to want to buy either that part or potentially Paramount Skydance to buy all of it.
Right. And you think about if Paramount Skydance were to buy it, they would have CNN and CBS just on the news side.
Right.
That's our world, so we know that. This decision has followed a lot of other major media companies making moves recently. What could all of this mean?
COVID couldn't even save cable television. So what does that tell you? Half of the shit on here is just a waste of production time. It's like the best thing you're going to see on screen is probably either in movies or streaming. But then all these different streaming services are expensive. Like there is no one streaming service for all because certain shows are going to come on certain networks. And certain streaming services are going to have to pay a contract to get those certain shows on their subscription. So there's that.
And for consumers as this consolidation might happen?
Well, first of all, it's a sign of the times. Less and less people are watching linear television. Advertising for those channels is on the decline. And people are cutting the cord and more people are turning to streaming. So at the end of the day.
And streaming is more convenient for the working class. Like, I think the 90s was the best decade for cable television with all the actually good sitcoms. We had Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, we had Thea, we had Martin. We had all these different sitcoms at that time. And those were pretty much keeping it up. Everybody had cable back then, even if they had to get the rabbit ears. The analog days died out in about 2005, at least here in the West Coast in California. I don't know about other parts of the country, but about 2005, that's when they switched they made the switch to digital, and everybody had to have these damn boxes. So cable was always a scam because there's no direct price for it. There's always some kind of special package to lure you in. And then you have to call into the company, to Comcast, and bitch and complain about why the bill went up. So then they can give you another special without, leaving their service.
Warner Brothers Discovery, they're trying to get as much money as possible, whether or not they sell it off in parts, in pieces, or they sell it as one entity altogether. But this could be a big win for potentially a Paramount Skydance who wants to really turn things around for some of these networks that have been on the decline. So it could be actually really good news for somebody like CNN or HGTV. So we'll just have to see what happens. But again, for the consumer and the people at home watching, they might need to look at their streaming services because they might need to start consolidating themselves.
Well, a lot of people are streaming us right now as we...
I'm fine with just YouTube because, like I said, a lot of people don't have time to sit around and watch television like that. So as young adults, who has time to sit around and watch what they're paying $200 a month for? You get it? It's just a waste. Because let alone, even if you do have streaming services, you still have to pay for internet connection, because without an internet connection, you can't use the streaming services. So really, you're not saving much money by just signing up for all these different subscriptions and then having. So either way, you're going to take a L. This is Kai the Veil. I'll catch you in the next one.